everyone, welcome to Sway Band Anime. I hope your day is going well. Other than that, let's begin. So today, you guys, I want to talk about an unfortunate thing. I know this sways a little bit from my content, but I want to start talking more about more serious topics on my channel, as well as like I have my other channel, Sway Band Everything Else, where you guys can go to there to basically, you know, hear about more serious topics. But I bring this up because I'm at a loss for words, right? The unfortunate passing of this one of the world's best rappers, right? And he gave so much to this world, right? I think that DMX's passing creates a space for conversation about how we treat addicts in this world. And I think that, like, in general, I think that we do not treat addicts in the best way, right? And I know, like, a lot of people are going to be like, well, addicts rob and they steal and stuff like this. And like, what does this have to do with DMX? I think that the way we treated DMX while he was alive and made fun of his addiction, made fun of his sobriety, you know, it was just like the way we treated this man while he was alive was not very well. And I think that that's something to be said about this, that we have lost someone, right, to addiction. And I think that when I think about this, I think about I'm sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit, but I think about how I lost my uncle, or how I lost my cousin, both to drug addiction, as well to suicide, right? And one to suicide and one to drug addiction, right? And how that was something that was very, very hard for me. And I think about every day how we treat addicts. I think about how we treat celebrities who have addictions, such as Demi Lovato, such as Tina Turner, such as Whitney Houston, right? You know, and I think of I think of the term crackhead and all this other stuff. When I hear DMX's story about how he got addicted to drugs, he said that it was someone he trusted laced something that he used and that he smoked, basically, and he ended up getting addicted from that day. And he laced it with crack. They laced his weed with crack, right? And let me know if it's wrong, but that's what I have read. And I just think that that's so unfortunate, right? And I think so many people deal with addiction because, you know, I think that in society we don't basically emphasize to young people as well as to adults healthy coping mechanisms, right? And then we have people who are addicts, and also we don't really have people understanding addiction and how addiction can happen to anyone, and that you can be addicted to anything. Like, we have food addicts, we have people who are addicted to surgery, we have people who are addicted to, you know, exercise, etc., etc. And it's so many people who are addicted to so many different things as escapism, or who were not able or fortunate to develop healthy coping mechanisms, who can't necessarily just dabble in drugs, right? And I think that every day, and I think about all the people in my family who had drug addictions, and how addiction runs in my family, and how it's so hard for even myself to like things, right, without the fear of being like, am I going to overindulge in something, right? And I know that sounds weird, it's like, and everything, but I just think that that's something to really think about, and how we treat addicts, and being honored, being very compassionate towards addicts, but also being able to, like, I just feel like the way we talk about addiction is terrible. DMX he technically died from an overdose. This was his coma. His coma was induced by drugs, and there's something to be said about that. That's something to be said when we have this. He died pretty young, right? This young man. Even though I'm younger than DMX, but he died young. He's like the age of my parents, right? With this young man who died with addiction, right? Who battled each and every day with addiction, you know. And I think that, like, when I see myself in DMX, I see my uncle, I see my family, I see strangers, and I learned that I had to, not necessarily through DMX, but I think that even my journey throughout life, I learned how to treat people who have that illness with compassion. That doesn't mean give them everything. That doesn't mean like invite them into your house and like allow them to steal things from you or whatever that relationship may be. But it just means like having just human compassion for them, having empathy for them, understanding that this is hard, understanding that one day is better than no days, right? And I have an addictive personality. I have never been addicted to drugs, of course. But not of course, like, it's not like you guys know me. But I have never been addicted to drugs. But like, I do have an addictive personality in the sense of like, I do have addictive personality in the sense of, when I like something, I really like something, right? And I know that's like, it's not drugs, but like, it can be food sometimes, or it can be like, it's just like, or TV or shows or blah blah. It's like I get a little bit obsessive about certain things, which is like not necessarily healthy, but I have it under control better than I used to when I was a kid. But it's like, it's super important to have healthy coping mechanisms, right? Because a lot of times people use different things to escape the life that they live in, right? He had went through so much that he wanted to escape, and I just hope that he has safe travels to the places that he's going to travel to since he has passed. And I just really am sad that he had to go. And I just think that even though this wasn't a very coherent video, but I just wish that we had more compassion to addicts, more compassion and more revolution in our drug systems, as well as in our rehabilitation systems. Like, rehab doesn't work, right? And I just wish that as a society we'll take addiction seriously. We're in the middle of an opioid epidemic, and people making fun of the people who are addicted, right? And it's just like, addictions ain't no joke, right? And addictions can be from things that we may not consider too bad to things that are very, very bad, things that we may consider really bad. With that said, this has been Sway Bay and Anime. I'm wishing DMX a very safe travel once again. Peace.